everyone, Councillor Derek Silva here. Sorry I haven't shaved in about a week, but I wanted to bring you an update on what's been happening at the municipality, mostly cover maybe a couple things provincially and federally in brief, but about the municipality of Middlesex Centre specifically. There's been a lot of talk about the parks. The parks are closed. This was not a council decision. Staff is making operating decisions as they normally do, operational decisions. And one of them is that it's much easier to enforce a straight out closure of the parks. I get where your disagreement comes from. I have 3 kids at home. I'd love to take them to the parks or even just walk through the park every once in a while. But we had situations at Weldon Park and Caver Hill Park where people were gathering en masse. There was 40 cars parked at Weldon Park one day. And instead of sending around a small force of bylaw enforcement officers who traditionally are also reviewing building permits and that sort of thing, doing building inspections for the few construction projects that are still ongoing. They figured it would just be much better to close the parks entirely, enforce that, primarily through education. I don't believe anybody has gotten a ticket at this point locally for being in a park or being in a municipal parking lot or anything like that, which is nice. But at this point, the parks are closed and they're going to remain closed for the next little while at least. That will probably be one of the first things to get undone as we head towards whatever the new normal is. But for now, they're closed. However, the Coldstream Conservation Area, run by St. Clair Region Conservation Authority and Middlesex Centre jointly, is open. Now, hang on. Don't pause the video yet and take off. There are still rules. You still need to maintain physical distancing. There's new signage about which way you should take the path. So please be respectful of that. If the conservation area parking lot looks packed, maybe come back another day or another time. Let's try to be respectful of each other and the fact that we'd all like to get out back into nature at least every once in a while for a little hike or a little walk through the woods and that sort of thing. Okay. The trails in Ward 4 are all closed. It doesn't matter if it's the river flats or walking through the parks, they're closed. You cannot maintain physical distancing on our trails. We don't have enough room there. Ilderton Rail Trail is open for now, safe for that caveat. But again, be respectful. Don't overload the trail with a ton of people. And hopefully over the next month or two, we're all gonna get out of this and get to something a little more tolerable. Something I forgot to mention in my first take at this is that unfortunately, council did vote to lay off our permanent part-time staff a few weeks ago. I was not in favor of the decision, but obviously I was on the losing side of that vote. Solid cases made for and against laying them off, but unfortunately that did happen, and so we are in a similar but on a scale much smaller situation as a whole bunch of other municipalities where we have reduced revenues and therefore staff and council are looking to reduce some costs. I wish staff wasn't part of that cost-cutting equation, but it did occur. Our bills are continuing to be issued at this time. Payment plans are available for those of you who have or are experiencing some financial hardship. Call the municipal office or send an email to our manager of finance, I believe, and tell them what your situation is, and they will work with you. We will, of course, consider postponing property tax payments, which are due late May. Again, for those of you who are under financial hardship, let staff know ahead of time if you know. But we are going to be. I'm anticipating getting a report on that at our next council meeting next Wednesday, and April 29th, to be clear. And we'll see where we go from there. There's been some talk about construction landscaping work and that sort of thing that's still going on. Any landscaping work done by contractors or done by the municipalities staff at municipal facilities has all been cleared by the province. I think most of it's been paused right now, but there was some aeration and that sort of thing happening. Staff are still going to be cutting the grass, probably to a lesser standard, let it grow a little bit longer than we normally do. But all of that's been cleared by the province. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. It's much better to email me, call me, text me, than it is to talk about it on the Kamoka Kilworth Facebook group, neighbors Facebook group. I can get you answers, and I'm happy to get them to you within hours. I get a lot of you are frustrated. You want to be out there working, and you're not allowed to. So to see discrepancies, I get it. I totally get it. But if you have questions, please let me know. The fire department and our public works and engineering, that's all in good shape. We have what we need to keep the water clean and to tackle any fires, any emergencies that come up. Numbers are way down, which is always a good thing. But those essential services are all in good shape. No new building permits have been issued after April 4th. I'm sorry if you've been caught up in that. Overall, that's basically what's happening. This entire region around Middlesex Centre, all the chief building officials got together and decided, how they were going to tackle that order from the province, and so that's what's happening there. Permits issued prior to April 4th, midnight on April 4th, we're allowed to get started, get underway, or if you don't need a permit, you're allowed to do what you need to do, small internal renovations in your house and that sort of thing. There's been some talk about sports programs getting canceled and whether you'd be getting a refund or not. That is entirely between you and the respective sports association. If they are not able to provide you with a 100% refund, to my knowledge, at this point, it has nothing to do with the municipality. The municipal staff have been issuing full refunds to people who or associations who cancel their ice time or their field time. Soccer association, baseball association, they're going to make their own decisions. They don't have to pay the municipal player fee until the end of the season. So to my knowledge, any discrepancy in how much money you get back from any cancellations, that's a private situation between you and them. The municipality just is trying to stay out of it as much as we can. Interestingly, and perhaps rather surprisingly, water consumption has actually gone down year over year and month over month. So a lot of you were concerned about water usage. I don't know about your personal situation. Mine's been relatively stable, but as a municipality, consumption has actually gone down. So again, that was rather surprising. Maybe it's not true for your household, but that's the case. Otherwise, what's coming from the province, what's coming from the federal government, it's changing every day. You may not have been eligible for the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there's a good chance you are now. And there's probably even a better chance that you'll be eligible a week from now, depending on your circumstances and your age and that sort of thing. The Canadian Emergency Business Account, again, eligibility requirements changed about a week ago, and so how much money you spend on payroll and how much money you've lost as a result of the pandemic, the eligibility requirements changed a little while ago. So you should check again if you didn't qualify a week or two ago. You should go to canada.ca, find the COVID-19 page, check again, or go to ontario.ca, find the COVID-19 related webpage and check again. Parents like myself with kids who were in schools and schools were striking, if you have a smaller child who was not in school before, but is probably home now because daycares were closed, you can probably get another $200 from the Ontario government. Go to the same webpage you went to before to apply for the initial $200 per child that we all got for whenever the schools were closed, and you can now apply for children who are not in school but probably should be in daycare. So if you're home with that child, 1, 2, 3 year old, 6 months old, 6 month old, etc., you will probably qualify for additional funds. So go check that out. Otherwise, that's kind of where things are at. I know a lot of you are frustrated and have cabin fever and just want all this to end. I hear you. I'm right there with you. I've got 3 children at home 24/7 now, and still trying to get my work done and be an effective counselor, and it's proven to be more difficult than ever before. So, yeah, that's about all I can say about that. I don't have a ton of tips for you on how to stay sane. Much has been written and much has been publicized in the news and on various magazines or blogs or websites online. You can probably find the assistance you need to get through your day there. Hopefully, teaching or having your child learn through the virtual learning environments provided by the school boards now is going well. And I don't know what the new normal will look like, but hopefully it looks just enough like the old normal that we'll all be happy. But maybe some of our habits will change for the better too. I hope you're staying well, staying healthy. If you need me, give me a call, 226-909-1189. Send me an email to silva@middlesexcentre.on.ca, and I will see what I can do. Bye-bye.